Conceptual Chemistry of GCE O-Level Series. This is lecture number 2 of KPT. According to kinetic particle theory, matter is composed of tiny particles, and these tiny particles are in a constant random motion. And we can't see these tiny particles. So how do we believe that these particles actually exist when we can't see them by our eyes? Let's take an example in order to understand the existence of these small particles. Whenever we open up a bottle of perfume, so after a few minutes the fragrance of perfume soon spreads throughout the entire room. Similarly, if someone is cooking curry in the kitchen, so we will soon be able to detect the smell of spices in almost everywhere in the room, or either extremely fragrant packet of chips or cookies would be opened inside the room, so anyone who is standing outside the room will eventually smell it. So how did the fragrance of that food or either perfume gets from one edge of the room towards the other edge of the room? So there must be something which is carrying this fragrance over. So the things which carry the fragrance are the particles, which are defined in the kinetic particle theory. So these are the small and tiny particles which are the carriers of the fragrance from one edge of the room towards the other edge of the room. So basically, movement of these particles is called as diffusion. Diffusion is one of the evidences of kinetic particle theory. It is an indirect evidence of kinetic particle theory, or KPT. So diffusion is movement of particles from a region of higher concentration towards a region of lower concentration. This movement occurs due to the concentration gradient. Now, what is concentration gradient? It is basically the difference in the concentration, which tends the molecules or particles to move towards the empty space. Diffusion can occur in two conditions. It can occur in gases, it can occur in liquids as well. In order to understand diffusion of gases, let's have a look at this investigation. Here you can see one gas jar is having few drops of liquid bromine, and we all know that liquid bromine has a reddish brown color. So if this gas jar will be left for few hours or few minutes, what will happen? After few minutes, eventually the entire gas jar will be red in color. Why is it so? This is just because of the diffusion of particles. Here you can see this liquid bromine is present in a concentrated form, and here zero concentration of bromine is present. So when we leave this gas jar for few minutes, so the particles of liquid bromine will start evaporating, and after few minutes the entire jar will be filled with the vapors of liquid bromine. So that's why we will see it as red in color. So bromine vapors diffuse throughout the jar to mix evenly, even though bromine particles are denser than denser than air, but still they will diffuse in order to fill up the empty space. Diffusion can occur in liquids as well. In order to understand diffusion in liquids, let's have a look at this investigation. In this investigation, diffusion of potassium manganate 7 occurs in water. Let's suppose we will place few crystals of potassium manganate 7 in water. Potassium manganate 7 is deep purple in color, and we will let this for few minutes. What will happen? After few minutes, the entire liquid will be evenly deep purple in color. Why is it so? This is because of the diffusion of potassium manganate 7 in water. So the particles of potassium manganate 7 will dissolve in water, and they will diffuse in water in order to give an evenly deep purple solution. Since KPT says that particles are in a constant random motion, so there must be some factors which are affecting the rate of diffusion. So these factors are molecular mass and temperature. Molecular mass is inversely proportional to the rate of diffusion, whereas temperature is directly proportional to the rate of diffusion. Let's suppose we are having two molecules. One is a heavy molecule and one is a lighter molecule. So the heavy molecule will tend to absorb a lot of energy in order to move. It will move very slowly. Why it will move very slowly? Because it requires a lot of energy in order to diffuse, and it's very heavy. Whereas the lighter molecule will need a little amount of energy in order to diffuse. So therefore we would say that molecular mass is inversely proportional to the rate of diffusion, whereas temperature is directly proportional to the rate of diffusion. Why is it so? If let's suppose we have one particle in an environment of high energy, so what will happen? This particle will gain a lot of energy. When it will get a lot of energy, so definitely it will start vibrating. So as it will vibrate very fast, so there will be ultimately production of kinetic energy. We all know kinetic energy is the energy which is produced due to the movement of particles. So as it will be possessing a lot of kinetic energy, so it will move very fast, it will vibrate very fast. So we would say that temperature has a direct relationship with the rate of diffusion. Let's look at the details of it. Temperature is directly proportional to diffusion. Why is it so? Because particles move very fast at a very high temperature. They attain a lot of energy, they gain a lot of energy. As they will gain a lot of energy, so they will vibrate very fast. As they will vibrate very fast, so they quickly spread in the available space, and the rate of diffusion would be faster. Likewise, if temperature would be low, so what will happen? The rate of diffusion will be low, because molecules will get less energy in order to vibrate, so their kinetic energy production will be less, and their movement in the available space will be less. So that's why it's directly proportional. Temperature is always directly proportional to the rate of diffusion. If you look at the molecular weight, molecular mass is inversely proportional. If greater is the molecular mass, slower will be the movement of the particle. Why? Because it will be requiring a lot of energy in order to move. So slower will be the rate of diffusion, and vice versa. So that's why we would say that molecular mass is having an inverse relationship with the rate of diffusion. In order to understand the relation of molecular mass with rate of diffusion, let's have a look at this investigation. In this investigation, you can see this experimental setup. In this experimental setup, in this apparatus, there is one cotton wool which is soaked in aqueous ammonia, NH3, whereas at the other end there is a cotton wool which is soaked in hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid, which is HCl. And here you can observe a very small white ring, and this ring is ammonium chloride, because we know whenever ammonia reacts with hydrogen chloride, it will produce ammonium chloride along with water. So this small ring is representing ammonium chloride. Now if you will look at the apparatus, so you will see that this ring is slightly towards HCl. Now the question arises that why is it so? Why is it slightly towards the HCl? Why is it not towards ammonia, and why is it not in the middle of the apparatus? Actually, the answer to this is, let's have a look at the molecular weight of both molecules. First one is ammonia, and its relative molecular mass is 14 plus 1 multiplied by 3, which will be 17, and HCl is 1 plus 35.5, which would be ultimately 36.5. If we will look at the molecular weight of both molecules, so you can see that HCl is heavier than ammonia, because it is twice heavier than ammonia. So that's why the molecules of HCl will diffuse very slowly, because their molecular weight is very high. They are heavier than ammonia, whereas ammonia particles will move very fast, because their molecular weight is less. So hence it's proved that molecular mass is inversely proportional to the rate of diffusion. Over here you can see that these are the three different representations of three states of matter, which are mainly based on KPT. You need to know how to describe these three states of matter according to KPT. So the first one is representing a solid state of matter. Here you can see in this picture, here you can see that the solid particles, look at this picture, the solid particles or the particles of solid state are very tightly packed. They are very closer to each other. They are having a very strong force of attraction, very little empty space is present in between them. So that's why they will be having a proper shape. They cannot be compressed because there is no space in between them, and they are still vibrating according to KPT. Each of the particle is in a constant random motion, so they are also vibrating, but their vibration is very less. So that's why their kinetic energy is very less, because they can't vibrate or they can't move very freely because they are having fixed positions, so they can't have enough space to move. That's why it is having a very organized and a very proper firm structure. That's why we used to say that solids are having a very rigid and a firm state or structure. If we will look at liquid and we will compare it with solid, so comparatively the particles of liquid are a little bit distorted. They are having a distorted structure. They are away from one another. There is a little bit space which is present in between the particles, so they are packed closely together, but there is no orderly arrangement in them. There is very little space which is present between these particles. As compared to the solid particles, they cannot be compressed. Still we can't compress the liquids, though they have space in between them, but the space is not enough for the compression. They can vibrate, but as their vibration is a little bit greater than solids, but still they can't vibrate very freely if we'll compare them with the gaseous particles. If we look at particles of gases, so here you can see the gaseous particles are very away from each other. They are far apart from each other, so that's why they can vibrate in any direction randomly. So their arrangement is very random arrangement. Large space is present in between them, so we can easily compress them, and they can easily vibrate. As they are vibrating very fast, so there would be production of a lot of kinetic energy, because kinetic energy is the energy which is produced due to the vibration and collision of the particles. And they will vibrate and they will move towards any available space inside the container, so they are spreaded in the entire container. So this is all about these three states of matter according to KPT. If you are having any confusion or query related to the topics which are done, you may ask me. We will be finishing this chapter KPT in the third lecture. So thank you so very much.